Hey,
Oh
now I'm
my
on the
God,
little screen.
dude.
It worked. I am being censored more than you know. It sucks.
Wow. Yeah, I had to do it before you even go live.
Yeah,
That's when,
it wouldn't
so
let me even do that. So
wow.
it's
Okay.
your video. We're gonna act like it's on my thing. So it's your
And
video.
I'm being Tanya right now,
Yeah, I
because I'm
know.
not wearing any makeup.
Well, what I was doing was I was trying to click the buttons because usually like if you click all the buttons, you hit invite, or if you do, it will just mess up and then you can get the person on. But it took us a whole hour to get it to work. So,
It sure
yeah.
did.
So, anyways, it's your
Okay.
video. Let's start from the beginning. Uh, I'm going to share it on YouTube. Is that okay? Because I'm trying to get
Yeah,
people to see these videos. Okay, cool.
so basically my son was born on Thanksgiving Day in 1988. Flash forward 22 years, and it was August 11th at about 9:30 at night, or 9:28, I think, at night. He was taking his girlfriend home, and hey, Wendy, and a, an individual from another country decided that he wanted to come to this country, and so he did illegally. He then proceeded to buy a vehicle and drive without a license,
Hmm.
and proceeded to get a job delivering newspapers, and was driving down the road. He was distracted. He was turning into a mobile home park to deliver the newspapers, and my son was on his motorcycle and he hit him, just turned right into him. My son flipped up, flipped up on the hood of his van and smashed in the whole front of the van. My son's bike was totaled. He shattered my son's left shin bone, and caused his head, because he went flying, caused his head to go like this, causing traumatic brain injury. They heavily medicated him and tried to reduce the swelling. They put a line in to drain, and it just wasn't good enough. So they finally, like 12 hours later, they finally did a craniectomy on him and removed the right part of his skull. Um, 4 weeks later to the day, he succumbed to his injuries, and all the while, the illegal was still out there driving, delivering those newspapers every Thursday night, for the viewers or the readers of the Yucaipa News Mirror, to read on Friday morning. Um, I had to fight tooth and nail for Yucaipa sheriffs. Well, it's San Bernardino County sheriffs, um, but I had to fight tooth and nail for the officers in Yucaipa to even to pursue the case. If I hadn't been a total B word, they probably would have just swept it under the rug. But I kept calling. So they finally did their investigation. They finally put, I think it was maybe 6 months later, they finally got a warrant out for his arrest. They went to his home of record. Of course, he wasn't there. But then the next day he turned himself in to the courts because he wasn't concerned about being deported. He knew he wasn't going to be. Um, and they did an arraignment. They let him go on his own recognizance. So it's supposed to be a $50,000 bail. They let him go because, of course, he's not a flight risk. I mean, there's, somebody that's dead because of him, and they just let him go. And finally fought the DA. This is the deputy DA in San Bernardino County, William Gale. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. William Gale is a liar, and he worked with the public defender to lighten this guy's sentence. They reduced the charges because it was vehicular manslaughter without gross negligence. And it's without gross negligence because he was not drunk or, speeding or whatever. It doesn't matter that he was here illegally, driving illegally, working illegally, when he made an illegal left-hand turn. Those are minor details. Also minor details, he had received he had been pulled over 3 times prior to this incident. 2 times for talking on the phone in California, that's against the law. So he got pulled over 2 times for that, and he got 2 citations for that and 2 citations for driving without a driver's license. The 3rd time he got pulled over, or one of the 3 times he got pulled over, he was making an illegal left-hand turn and impeding traffic. Wow, that's exactly what he did to my son. And so he got that ticket and another ticket for driving without a license. That could not have been used in his manslaughter case. And by the way, without gross negligence, it's a misdemeanor in California. It's a misdemeanor. So the maximum sentence he could get, it was a year. Oh, and by the way, if my son had survived and he was mentally or physically diminished, they could have charged him with gross bodily injury, and that's a felony, and it's 5 years in prison. But because my son died, how rude of him, this guy got away with a misdemeanor. So the DA
If you saw me looking down, I was sharing the video on all the pages. So I didn't want you to think I was being rude. Sorry about that.
No, I'm not wearing my glasses, so everything's kind of blurry.
No, you're good. Don't worry. Hey, you got me on. I couldn't get you on, so we're good.
So basically, William Gale said that, because of the mass overcrowding, because they have realigned the jail system, that if you have, less than a year or less, or 2 years, I can't remember. This happened in 92. Excuse me, 2011. Ooh, 2011.
Yeah. Tired. It's okay.
Yeah. William Gale said, that with the mass overcrowding, because of the prison realignment, and he would just go to jail, not prison, that he would basically just check in to the court, to the jail. They would fingerprint him, take his picture, and send him on his way. And I was like, what? Now, being ignorant to the law, because, I'm not a lawyer, I didn't know that if he had checked in to the jail, they would have instantly put him on an I-9 hold, an immigration hold. But I didn't know that. So William Gale, the liar, deputy district attorney, said, well, you know what, let's do 180 days work release and 3 years probation. And I was not happy, but at least I was like, what, 180 days, He goes, well, Brenda, this is the thing. If he gets sentenced to 180 days, he does 180 days. And the work release is like picking up the trash on the side of the road. Well, if anybody knows, in the summertime in San Bernardino, it gets pretty hot. It's, in the hundreds, 110. So I was like, okay, at least it's better than him getting nothing. So 3 years probation and 180 days work release. The guy accepted it. He pled guilty, Then a couple of weeks after that, I got a call from the probation officer, because she wanted to get like all my information, like how much money I had lost, like trying to recoup that for me. And so she was just like, yeah, I'm reading your story and I'm just heartbroken, yada, yada, yada. And she goes, I just can't believe his sentence. And I was like, yeah, well, at least he's got 180 days. And she goes, excuse me? And I go, well, at least he's got 180 days. He's going to be picking up trash on the side of the freeway. And she says, no. She says, that was stayed pending completion of his 3 years unsupervised probation.
They always find a way to let these guys get away with it. It's sick.
Exactly. Now, I know somebody that very similar circumstances that did this, an American citizen, he did jail time. But again, this is after the fact I found this out. So, yeah, he's got away with it. And I don't know, I haven't heard anybody else say it, but I've coined the phrase, we always hear white privilege. This is illegal privilege. He
No,
got
it's exactly
illegal
what it is. It's illegal alien
privilege.
criminal privilege.
Yeah. So, sorry, you were drinking stuff. I'm drinking sweet tea.
No, you're fine. I'm drinking Gatorade. I was trying to drink my soy boy wine, but I'm not an alcoholic yet. So as soon as Facebook keeps censoring me, I'll be having a 12-pack of Coors because real men drink beer or something. I don't know. It's probably feminine to you. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
No, I'm just kidding. I gotta go. Okay, let me explain. I got pissed earlier, and I think you were watching the video.
Yeah.
And then we'll get back to the interview because I'm getting hammered by trolls right now. Dennis Michael Lynch was supposed to go out there and interview you guys. He was supposed to go get Angel Mom interviews and go talk to the Border Patrol and go talk to Blue Lives Matter and get everybody on his platform. And he was supposed to go do all these interviews, and I was sending money. I was like, the extra money I had, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to send money. This guy's doing the grassroots movement work. This is cool. I think Annette, I don't know the other person who contacted me, but told me to shut up or something like that. And I was just calling him out. I was like, dude, it's just wrong. I kind of went overboard with the Batman suit, but you know what I mean? I don't care. It's just stupid.
That was funny.
Right. We'll go back to the interview. That was my fault. Sorry about it. I was explaining because I think he's a good guy, but his platform sucks.
Yeah, I remember watching his first video, and I was so impressed with him.
Yes, I was like, this is the best since sliced bread. This will be the best news channel ever. And I've never been I put on YouTube January 6th, 2018. I predicted everything he's doing right now. He's out there putting money in his pocket. So good for him. At least he's an opportunist who is out in the open with it. So
also a small little tidbit. My former husband, the father of my children, is a legal immigrant from Honduras.
Well, see, that's cool. I'm all about legal immigration.
Oh, yeah, so am I.
What kills me is illegal criminals who probably can't read the stop sign, made an illegal turn, and then hit your son.
Yeah.
My dad sold a car to someone like that who they bought the car because they were moving to America, pulled out and got into a car accident because they couldn't read the stop sign.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's frustrating. I mean, my former husband is a Marine. He still is, as far as I know. He was not in California anymore, so I had to call him where he was stationed to let him know that his son had been mowed down. And then when Eric passed, I had to call him and let him know. And then I had to call him again when I found out that my son's murderer was an illegal. And at one time, I was, don't hate me, but at one time, I was a Democrat. I was, they're just here for a better life. I was so indoctrinated, but then, I started working, I got educated, and, light bulb came on. And I was like, but when I first met my ex-husband, he was like, Brenda, I was like, well, they're just here for a better life, Have you seen their life? And he goes, yeah, in Honduras, it sucks. But I had to do it the right way. So why don't they?
That's what I agree with. When you talk to Agnes, and these people, and Sabine, and many others, they came over and became legal citizens and spent tons of money, and they're bigger patriots than most Americans. They go out there wearing the American flag on every single shirt with their kid's image on it. And then you got hypocrites like Dennis over there selling wine. So my point is that they represent the grassroots movement and Donald Trump more than anybody, because his wife Melania, who's a legal immigrant, whose birthday it is today, is very smart, very beautiful, does tons of things for people, and they harass the crap out of her. So you could be from Mexico, Honduras, you could be from Canada, you can be from Haiti, England. You're not legal. Get the hell out of the country.
And the funny thing is that when I say that I'm against illegal immigration, I'm instantly called a racist. And I think it's funny because, first of all, illegals come from every country.
Hmm.
And if I'm a racist, then why is my ex-husband a legal immigrant from Mexico or from Honduras? And and I have a child by him. But very rarely do I ever mention the country of origin of my son's murderer, because
Hmm.
that's not important. It doesn't matter if he was from the Netherlands or from Mexico or China or Russia. You know, I have a dear friend here in Mesa, whose daughter was murdered by a Russian, and he came over here legally on a visa, and it expired. You
Well, then
know,
he's still an
and
illegal
he's
alien. You know what I mean?
exactly, as soon as that went, you know, Shannon, I can't, God, Estes, Shannon Estes, her daughter Shaylee was murdered. So it's all about the legality of it. You know, I don't have a problem. Sabine and I were very good friends at one time, and she's German. You know, my ex-husband kind of liked him a little bit to marry him and have a kid by him. Legal immigrant. There's nothing wrong with immigration.
Well,
This
you know,
country was
and
built on
here's the
immigrants.
thing. You have so many emotions going on. All the Angel
Mhm.
families do. You were contacted and told that they were going to help you guys out, get your story out there, and yada, yada. That's what I'm trying to do. We'll post this on YouTube tomorrow. The sad thing is you had like Laura Ingraham, Ann Coulter, Dennis Michael Lynch, all these people, they're flipping, oh, America first, make America great, and you don't hear nothing.
Mhm.
I mean, so even your friend, well, we'll have to get in contact with her and do a story. I mean, just because if his green card went out, the guy's an illegal alien criminal. So, because he's probably still getting free school, free medical, free this, that, and the other while we're paying. You know, I
Yeah.
paid, me and my wife paid $300 for groceries today. It's not like we get a free little go eat for free card. You know what I mean? Just stupid.
Exactly.
And we all have to pay for insurance. So every time Dennis Michael Lynch mentions that, I want to bitch slap him. It's just the truth. It's like everybody has problems.
Mhm.
So I was just trying to
Yeah.
explain that because I got trolled about 20 minutes before we were going to get on. I have no problems with him. I just think the platform sucks. I think they left you guys behind.
Well,
I
we
was
have
watching all your
there.
guys' interviews when you're standing next to Trump, the pictures and everything. And I'm like, what the hell happened? I thought they were going to get this out there in the open and stop DACA.
Well, and actually, when I was here in Phoenix, because I fled California because of illegals, and the liberal government wants to give them everything and won't give me anything. Um, so I fled, and I'm here in Arizona now. And but I had come out, and I've only been here 2 months and 3 days, I think. But I was here September 1st, I think it was 2016, and that was the rally that you were speaking of. He told us backstage that he was going to end DACA immediately, or first thing. He said first thing. It's been how long? I mean, just saying,
Well,
you
you know,
know.
it's
And then
like
there's
I
also
understand.
groups.
Like I was with Dennis Michael Lynch when he said when he got pissed and he was like no to DACA. I'm about no to DACA, but I'll never
Mhm.
flip on Donald Trump because he's the only hope we have. You know what I mean? But one thing I do got to mention, and it just pisses me off every time you see one of these Democrats and they're up there standing talking about illegal alien criminals and how we need to feel sorry for them. Yes, I'm a Christian and I believe that we should serve and help people. But also in the
Mhm.
Bible, it says that you need to submit to worldly government so there's order. And a lot of people go, thou shalt not judge. Let me fix that real quick for somebody who's watching, because I'm a KJV Bible believing guy, right? We'll go old school. Thou shalt not judge was meant for judge not yet you be judged. So I'll be judged by the same things in my fruits that I'm judging somebody else.
Mhm.
Dot 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 point for the Christian who trolled me earlier. This was not the person who was watching the video. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
it's
just like
nuts.
the say that they'll say
I was looking at your
people will
picture.
sit there.
I want you to explain this. This is why I'm bringing it up. You were up there talking about your son. I'm like
Mhm.
looking at the videos. I went because you know I go and research everything before I talk to you guys. When you hear somebody stand up like Nancy Pelosi for 8 hours on 8-inch hills talking about little Felipe, I mean, doesn't that just burn you up?
Yeah, they talk about their American dream. You know that these people come here for the American dream, And if stuff went downhill in the United States really bad, I've actually even said, I would probably leave to another country, and if I had to do it illegally, then yeah, but I wouldn't be standing up demanding rights. I would be keeping it low, but Nancy Pelosi, it infuriates me when any person, especially a politician, speaks on that, because, oh, poor Felipe. Well, what about my son? He spent 4 weeks in the hospital fighting for his life. Sepsis. He had to have his leg rebuilt. He had a craniectomy. He had traumatic brain injury. Where was Pelosi on that? Where was Pelosi talking about my son? Where was Pelosi talking about Jamal Shaw? Where was
Yes.
or Jamil Shaw?
I know what you're
Where
talking
was
about.
Nancy Pelosi talking about Dominic Durden and Ronald Da Silva and Shaylee Estes and Kate Steinle and Brandon
This is why I'm
Mendoza
doing this,
and
because everybody kept talking
exactly,
about Kate Steinle, but they forgot about all the other people. That's why I'm
exactly.
trying to create a profile for all these interviews, and I'm not trying to cut you off. I'm saying you're dead on.
Yeah, they and the media mutes us. They
Mm.
mute us because what we have to say is against their narrative, against their agenda, because they want all these illegals to come in because they want the votes.
Don't get me
And
started on Maria Escobar Espinoza. We'll talk about that in a minute. But
oh, child, do not
yes,
get me started
yes,
on
yes.
that
I'm
man.
just
Oh,
I'm just saying I've been doing some digging and researching.
she is
We'll
one
save that for a little
evil.
bit from now. But
Ooh, don't get me started on
here I'm
that.
watching these rallies, and I
Mhm.
start noticing something. And thank God, and I'm glad that I get to talk to Agnes and Sabine and you guys. I'm looking at these rallies, and I see your kids on blankets and shirts, and they're not the parents. I think they've kind of lost the point. They don't want to talk to you guys. They only give you 5 minutes on Fox News because it doesn't fit
Yeah,
their agenda.
yeah,
See,
yeah, and
the agenda was good when Trump was running.
yeah, and then they've kind of forgotten, and it's frustrating because so many of us, we have been silenced by the media, and they don't want to speak to us. They refuse to speak to us. And when we thought we found somebody, or they found us, to get our voice out, Maria Espinoza came in with her fraudulent The Remembrance Project group, and
Oh,
gave us a voice.
real quick. She stole
Mhm.
the platform and the idea from somebody else.
Yes, actually, yeah, she stole the whole thing from Michelle Delacroix, and I think she's watching. I saw something earlier,
I friend
and
requested
Michael
her, and I
Burnett.
haven't gotten a friend back, so hopefully she'll add me. But
She
that's
probably
just
like, oh
mess.
no, no,
Yeah,
she's probably that Michelle Delacroix, man.
yeah,
That's my girl.
yeah,
I love her to death.
yeah. No, no. But
So,
what I'm saying though is she got victimized too.
oh yeah, Maria Espinoza doesn't have an original thought. It always comes from somebody else. She stole that from Noviak, and from Michelle and Michael. And I've seen the emails, the
Yeah,
dated
I
email,
know you have.
and
It's funny you
it
changed your
shows.
profile picture. That's why I didn't recognize you. Because I'm bad. I'm like, oh,
Oh,
her profile picture changed, and then I felt like an idiot. I was like, oh, I know what this is. But yes, you're right.
oh yeah.
And then on top of that, with Tanya telling me some stuff, it's just nuts. It is
Oh yeah,
so
Tanya's
nuts.
got a lot of dirt on this woman. Yeah, and she's fraudulent. I mean, from what I've seen, she's bringing in all this money, and she's not reporting it, and she has she used this
Well,
narrative
check
and
this
agenda.
out. She used this narrative and agenda, and then she was caught talking to Black Lives Matter and trying to run as a Democrat. How pathetic and sick is that?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But this the Remembrance Project is a stepping stone for her political career, in my opinion.
Well, she
Because
already
she had another.
didn't she already try to run and then she didn't. She
Yes,
tried
she
to run
did.
and then
Well,
she failed.
before that though, she even had another organization. I think,
What's her
don't
real
quote me
last
on
name?
this,
I
but
forgot what it is. What's her real last name? It's not
L
Espin.
I L Y I N G Lying Ling.
Yeah, Ling. Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
but she uses Espinoza. That's her maiden name.
Yeah, her
But she had this
husband,
other
her
group
daughter,
for.
and someone else is on the board or something like that. It's just nuts.
Uh, it's family. But she had another group for, I think, cystic fibrosis, but I could be wrong on the exact thing. But it never did anything. It went away, and then she got this, agenda, and it's like, ding, 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 let's use that, and that's what she's done. That's why, excuse me, that's why she has been out there putting herself. I mean, you look at her pages. Oh, and that's another thing. This
I knew you were going to talk
I'm
about this.
trying to
That's why
be
I was
real
leading you.
nice.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
This person, I have sent her a cease and desist letter demanding that she stop using images of my child and me, and that bitch still has my son on her sites. And when a year after I left that piece of shit organization, she had, because I left right after the conference that she had. In other words, the photo op.
Was that the one that was in Dallas, or was that the one that was back
It
when?
was in Houston. It was in Houston.
My
Yeah.
bad, Houston. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And Trump came and everything. I left right after that because how she treated me there, it was disgusting. And how
Well,
she
how
treated
she
my
treated
sister.
all of you angel moms. I'm hearing all these
Oh,
different stories. I mean, Agnes was the first one to tell me a bunch of things that she did to Agnes, and I was tripping out. Sabine
yeah.
too.
And she
All of
would
the angel
lie.
moms. Wendy too. I mean, just nuts.
I think she only has one family from the original group, but I'm not sure. So, but it's she would lie. She was telling people outright lies, or she would take a little grain of truth and build a big lie around it to turn people away from the people that had left because she couldn't control us. But when Bannon spoke at her last convention or conference,
Hmm.
that cunt, excuse my French, but that's the nicest word I could say. That cunt used my son's picture. Well over a year of me a cease and desist letter being sent, repeatedly going on her Facebook, repeatedly going on her Twitter account, demanding that she take my child off and me off. We're still there. Why? Because she's trying to make her group look bigger and more significant than it really is. But damn near every original member has left her because they can't handle her.
Well, I
She's a
told you to
control
take the
freak.
gloves off for the people that are watching. I told you to. I told you to
Yeah,
be
but
mean. So I mean, you're
I'm
just telling the
trying to be a
truth.
good girl for once
I
in my
know.
life and not use a lot of cuss words, but
No.
you brought up Maria Espinoza and the ghetto Brenda comes out because
Well, the
that
reason
bitch.
why I brought that up is because we're going to back up real quick. So you and the rest of the angel families were going up there and doing speeches for Donald Trump. They were taking pictures. You were talking about your son. You were trying to bring awareness to the fact that your son was taken by an illegal alien criminal, which today they're still trying to make illegal criminal lawyers able to practice American law to get laws passed for illegal criminals. So just nuts. We have a big problem in America, and people are stupid. So
Mm-hmm.
now we're going to jump back to why I even brought that up. You're the angel family interview number 11. Every time I think I'm not going to get a phone call or a text, well, I actually reached out to you, but I was supposed to do it a couple weeks ago. I get more people calling me. This is something that happens every single day, and it goes unreported. You know how many times I've heard that your kids were on a motorcycle or your kids were minding their own business in their car and they just got hit and the person ran away? And then ICE
Yeah.
doesn't do anything. ICE doesn't do nothing. They stand back. It's easier to not do the paperwork, like what Brian said, and allow them to flee the scene. You know, talking to
Oh
Billy.
no, I've got one better. I've got one better. I called ICE on my son's murder. I called ICE, and I'm not going to say his name, but the agent that I spoke to was so empathetic and apologetic. He goes, Mrs. Sparks, he goes, let me tell you something. He says, we've got guys that we have on video and have admitted to putting bullets in people's head, and we can't get them deported. Of course, that was under O'Dummy, or the last president. Dipshit.
Oh, you mean Barry Davis?
So that was the thing. He goes, we can't even get them deported. So this guy, there's not a chance in hell that he's going to get deported. But he said, still come in, still file the paperwork. Please do everything. He goes, I'm not trying to discourage you on that. I would never do that. He says, I just don't want you to get your hopes up thinking that you're going to turn this in and we're going to hunt him down and we're going to grab him and we're going to incarcerate him and so on and so forth. And then, you know, he's going to be deported to his home country. And I appreciated that because, you know, when you typically, as a rational American, you think you're going to go to the police and say, okay, this crime was committed, now fix it, or find the person and punish them, etc. ICE wasn't doing it, you know, and I'm hearing these stories that they're getting pulled over and they're being arrested. Where you shouldn't have been driving in the first place. Well, in California, they can get a driver's license. There's, I just got a notification that 1,100,000 illegals have driver's licenses in California. No wonder I moved to Mesa.
I don't live that far from you. I live in Farmington, New Mexico, so trust me.
Okay. My daddy was from Albuquerque.
Oh, that's cool.
Salis?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like Marianne, I think she lives by you too. I think she lives close to you in Arizona. It's just nuts.
She's here in Mesa. Shannon Estes is here in Mesa. Yeah. Grant Rodenbeck's dad, Steve, I don't think he's here in Mesa, but I could be wrong. But I believe Grant's mother, Sandy is here in Mesa. There's a lot of people. And they just get away with it, you know. And
so did you ever go, because you were one of the speakers at, I mean, all of the Angel families spoke, but I mean, were you ever invited to go do Fox and Friends or go do any of the interviews?
The Monday after the conference, that weekend, I left the Remembrance Project because of Maria's abuse. Mm-hmm. That Saturday after.
See, I want that to come out. I want that to come. If you're wondering, like in the back of your head, why I'm asking about Maria, is because I want that to come out. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's a very touchy subject, but I plan on calling her while I do a live video sometime under a miscellaneous name and getting her to crack. You know what I mean? So I keep hearing 100 different stories of what she's done to people. It's nuts.
Oh, she's a vicious bitch. That's like I said, calling her the C word is the nicest word I could call her, because she's an evil human being, you know. But
I couldn't get on for an hour.
She's like, God, honey, come to bed.
Yeah, Gina's like, you're still doing a live. I couldn't get you on. I couldn't even add anybody. Yeah. I almost gave up on the video. But
yeah, my fiance actually came out. We're supposed to get up at 3:00 in the morning and
watch. Do me a favor. Show a picture of your fiance, just real quick. See if you can get his face in there.
Oh no, he went back to bed.
Oh, tell him I said sorry, but isn't your fiance black?
He is?
You're not racist.
Shit, I didn't know that. Yeah, you're a racist.
Yeah, they even call me and my wife racist, and it's my own family because I'm a Christian and I just tell the truth with being a Donald Trump supporter, so trust me.
Oh, also, this is important. This is my child.
Sorry.
This is my child. This is what an illegal did. This is my child. So when I hear about these illegals whining and crying that
See,
they're going to
what
get
you just did is something that people should, you have an urn of your son sitting next to you. People should see that and know the truth. And I'm sorry about
and
that.
sometimes it's been a while since I've done it, but sometimes I'm just in such a bad place that I'll go to bed and just hold him. It seems silly, but it's just, but it angers me when I hear about these, illegals being deported and we're going to be separated from our families. Well, your family can go with you. There's no law that they can't go with you. But if they choose not to, that's their choice. But they can call you.
But
They can
isn't it
Skype
that
you.
most illegal alien criminals, I call them criminals because they rob the system, most illegal aliens are over the age of 16 years old. Why do we need to feel sorry for
Yeah,
them?
actually, I was watching a video with Tanya, and she was on the website, the government website, and
Oh
it
yeah, I saw
said
that one too. Yeah, yeah, I
yeah,
saw that one
like
too.
only 2,000, I think it was, out of 2,000 DACA are 16 and under. What? And so, but it frustrates me because
I'll be up in a
these
minute.
people can go to another country and visit their loved ones if they choose not to go with them. They can call them, they can FaceTime them, they can text them, they can whatever do. For me to talk to my son, I have to die. And I'm sure a lot of liberals would, yay, go die. But
Well,
I wonder
wasn't
how
it?
they would
Didn't
feel
they?
with
Well, Agnes is being attacked. I know Sabine's been attacked. I haven't really asked any of the other moms, but have you
oh
seen
yeah.
what they've been doing to Agnes on Facebook? And Ben,
No.
they're shutting his page down. They went on Fox and Friends. They were talking. I think she even did an interview in Spanish. She's awesome. She did a whole
Yeah.
interview in Spanish, and she got trolled, telling her to go
Of
kill
course.
herself and go do all. It's like, are you serious?
Oh, I've had people inbox me saying that they're glad that my son is dead, and that's what I deserve for being a bitch of a mother. Because I guess they knew me as a mother. I don't know. And
How
just
many
other
other how
horrible.
many other kids do you have?
I have one other daughter.
Okay,
That's
so you
it.
have a daughter, so she's going through this too. Every time they attack you, she sees it hurts her too. That was her brother. These people are disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're
Oh, and
disgusting.
what I sued my son's murderer's employer because they illegally hired him. They knew he was an illegal and they put him on the road. And so I sued them. And they served my daughter out in North Carolina. She was married, or she still is married. So they served her, and the person who served her said, here you go, whatever. And she goes, well, what's this? She goes, the guy said something to the effect, and I could be, wrong on it, but it was this premise of, this is your mom's trying to get a paycheck with your brother's blood to my daughter.
Wow.
And she was 19, 20, something like that.
Well, see, the reason why I
That's
brought up the Maria stuff is because while you're getting this thrown at you, she's over there still using the picture of your dead child to get her Remembrance Project, the TRP, back up and going or whatever. They just had a rally in California.
She wants to look like she is ginormous, like she's got all these family members. She doesn't have anybody. She has a very small number, and the ones that she has, I know the one that is her golden girl, is Ruth. And that's because Ruth's head's so far up Maria's hiney and follows her like a little puppy dog and does whatever she wants, like a little puppy dog. So that's why she's in. Well,
I feel sorry for a lot of the families because they had to go create their own groups to get help. This is a big problem in America. You know what I mean? It's like the or whatever it is. I don't know the full story, but what I do know, just from everybody talking, is they're just trying to do whatever they can to get awareness out there. When you have You already know, so I'll just say, when you have Tanya out there trying to, tell everybody, hey, look, we're going to help you any which way we can. Then you got her in the background. She's Maria Espinosa is talking to Black Lives Matter, trying to run as a Democrat. Wasn't she doing
Because
this to help Donald Trump get elected, who's a Republican?
oh no 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 when the presidential race was first starting,
Hmm.
she backed Cruz.
I know she
She
did.
backed
I
Cruz.
wanted you to say it.
She's
Yeah.
she stayed with Cruz until she sent the letter that she basically stole from Noviak, Michelle Delacroix, and Michael Bruning. She she stayed with Cruz until she sent that. She did an open letter to all the Republican candidates, and because Trump was the only one to respond, that's why she started backing him,
Yeah, I
because
know.
she could get her face in front of the camera, because this is all about politics for her to become a politician. She ran for congresswoman, I think, in her district of Houston, and she lost miserably. And so she was supposed to run this last time and she didn't, which that's fine, because I've already contacted the incumbent there and said, look, I sent him like an 8-page letter of use me. Let's take her down, because she has hurt so many people. That weekend from that conference that I went to, that Saturday night, the way she treated my sister, and that pisses me off more than the way she treated me. But the way she treated my sister and me, I was suicidal. I was really, really close, really close. Because I mean, I was already an emotional person, and
Hmm.
then having this, having to relive, like, it's going to take me a couple of days just to get over this interview. I mean, I'm not going to be all depressed, super depressed, but I'll be just like a lot more quieter and calm, because it's like dealing with this. It's very, very emotionally
I don't
draining.
know. To be honest with you, every time I do an interview, it's like a different experience because I don't want to go through it. And then every time I think
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, oh, that's the last one, I get more phone. I have people calling me that Sabine
Hmm.
didn't even send me, or
Yeah.
Agnes, and it's like, whoa, that's crazy. And it's like
Well,
illegal
I'll
aliens
I'll
from
send people
England,
that I know
illegal
to
aliens
you.
from Scotland. There's illegal aliens from Australia. Everybody thinks it's Mexico. It's not. Our immigration
Nope.
system is broken everywhere.
I mean, we do have OTMs, a lot of them here, and the mass flux recently has been OTMs, but still the vast majority of illegals coming into this country, let's be real, are from Mexico,
Hmm.
or
Yeah.
they come through Mexico. That's just numbers. That's reality. But I don't care if somebody's from my homeland, which America is my homeland, but my bloodlines, Greece, Scandinavian countries, Scotch Irish, that's my bloodlines. And if somebody I knew that are lily white come here and I find out that they're illegal, I don't want anything to do with them, because they shouldn't be here. I don't care. I'm so sick and tired of, as soon as you say you're against illegal aliens, you're a racist. Well, that statement right there, unless I say all illegals are Mexicans and they don't need to be here, then maybe I can start to say, okay, yeah, maybe you think I'm a racist. But when I say it in general, that's showing that you're racist by assuming that I'm talking about only Hispanics
Oh,
or
look at
people,
Angie Morph.
non-white
Look at
people.
Angie. Yeah,
Exactly.
she's Hispanic.
That's
She's
my
Mexican.
country.
Yeah,
Yes.
and she is, and they treat her like she's a different
Oh yeah.
person, an alien from Mars.
Yeah.
She
Oh
ran
yeah.
in her
She's
own district. I think she ran for not senator, Congress. I don't know what she did, but they it's they decided to elect a Democrat, her own party. So
yeah.
it's just crazy.
It's yeah, and they called her a traitor, a sellout, all kinds of things, and she's Hispanic. It's like, oh my God! But I've seen another gentleman that's the same way. I think he is of Hispanic descent. I could be wrong, but they blasted him. He's had death threats. I mean, hardcore death threats, you know. So it's crazy. I mean, there are organizations out there that are abusing people for their own agenda, you know, and so many of us parents or family members, because there's other family members that it's their niece or their nephew or their grandchild or their
Well, like
brother.
Dee, it was her
Yeah,
cousin.
exactly. Yeah. Oh, Dee Dee, wasn't that her brother? I thought it was her brother. Okay. You know, and then, oh gosh, oh, I can't, her name just left me. I had it right here. It was her niece, Maureen, her niece.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Well,
and then look
Maureen,
at
I think
Billy.
Maureen was her son, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. Well, Billy, look, he lost his son, and then look at his wife.
Yeah.
She's, you know, in a wheelchair.
Maureen lost her son. Yeah, but I know what you mean.
Okay. Well, no, there's two Marines that are pretty
No,
pretty
I thought
active.
you were talking about the one I interviewed. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah, there's another one too. There's two more. It was really convoluted when we were all a part of TRP, because it was like, okay, who's talking now? But yeah, it's frustrating. It's frustrating that they concentrate so much on the poor illegals. But you know, and I know when Marianne Mendoza went to speak to the president last week, a couple weeks ago, she had quoted 17 illegals, 17 Americans die daily at the hands of illegals. I'm personally going to say that I know for a fact that the number is tremendously higher. Why do I say that? Because my son's murderer, he's an illegal. It wasn't reported as he was an illegal.
Well, she mentioned that too on the video, that she was only using what was
Okay.
reported. So
Exactly. And that's another thing. I mean, I've heard quotes up to 20, 25, even 30 Americans. I mean, we'll never know because it's not a mandatory question and reporting. I think Don Rosenberg at one time was trying to make that a law. Somebody was. I can't remember
Don,
who
I'm still trying to
was
interview
it.
him. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You know, I mean, it's just, it's insane. You know, we don't even know. And we're talking about murders. We're not talking about the robberies, the hit and runs, the car accidents, the sexual assaults, the children being assaulted, the
The
animals
identity
being
theft,
assaulted.
the social
Oh my
security
gosh.
number theft.
Yeah, identity. How many American? I mean, but we're not required to show our ID to vote. But we need to have our ID to use a credit card. Isn't my vote more important than somebody's money? Just saying.
Well, let me ask you something. Because I always do this with everybody, to end the video, what do you want to leave everybody with when you're ending the video? Because I'm going to be talking to
You
you
know,
again. I'm doing update videos with everybody too. So, I mean,
yeah, for sure. The one thing, this is something that I said to Daryl Issa back in, I think, November of 2015. And it's something that Laura Wilkerson used with Nancy Pelosi because Maria told her to, because Maria saw my video. But anyway, anybody that's pro-illegal, I always ask this question. Which family member would you give up? Would you sacrifice? Which family member would you sacrifice for an illegal? I gave my son. Or he was taken from me. Are you willing to give up your child, that young, handsome young man that was behind you making silly faces when we couldn't
no.
get
That's why
connected?
I'm doing this.
You know,
No.
I don't want to lose my daughter. You know, I'm going to have 3 stepchildren. I don't want to lose them. I don't want to lose my nieces and nephews.
You don't want to lose your fiance.
Well, no, I'm just teasing.
Right. I don't
No,
want
I
to lose my
don't.
wife.
No,
I
I
mean,
mean,
this is more than just children. You don't want to lose your
it is.
parents.
Exactly. And I think the reason why the angel parents were used or were given a voice was because people could relate that person's child is dead. And I appreciate it. I'm not putting it down. it's just so many people are affected by this. I mean, my son's friends, my son's girlfriend, she was on the back of the motorcycle that night, and thankfully she survived. But she has, she probably still has, I don't know, but I'm guessing, she at one time she had survivor's guilt. I'm sure she still does. She was temporarily injured pretty bad where she was limping for a good long time. I think she's healed from that after, 6.5 years, but it's long lasting. My mother, me, my daughter, my ex-husband, all my son's friends, his my son's aunt, my brother's ex-wife is an ER or was an ER nurse, and she remarried to a doctor, and they both worked in the same hospital where my son was. And so they would come up, make sure that he was being, treated okay, and just being with him. They were devastated. So many people, you have no idea, and everybody always thinks, oh, that's not going to happen to me.
Were you ever
Okay.
contacted? Billy said he was contacted by Dennis Michael Lynch to do an interview. Were you ever contacted by him? No. Were you ever
No.
contacted by anybody from Fox or anybody
Yep.
afterwards?
Yeah, that's where I was going about the conference. That Monday after the conference, I did an interview with Fox Business in the
Fox
morning.
Business. Okay, I
And
remember
actually,
now. Okay.
yeah, and that's tagged in my profile, but that was almost 2 years ago now. So yeah, that was September 2016. So but I don't speak well on camera either. I mean, Sabine A. Durden and Marianne Mendoza, they have eloquent voices,
Yeah.
and they speak
I'm
very
the same
well.
way. I suck when talking.
Right? So that's fine. I mean, as long as the story and the truth is getting out, and thanks to people like you, giving us a platform and archiving it, so that somebody can research it and hear the other side of the story, because they're not going to get that from the media. I remember I had read an article about illegal immigration. It was supposed to be from a fair and balanced article. Sabine was part of it. They did 4 stories of illegals and hers. I don't know, 4-1. That doesn't seem fair and balanced to me.
Well, what I'm going to do too is, I think I'm probably going to start it in the next couple months, but we'll do like an update video too. I mean, I still want to interview Dee. She thinks her story's too old. None of the stories are too old.
Oh my God, no, no, mm-mm. No. I mean, well, look at Ruben Morfin. He was killed in the 80s. And Angie and her sister, Lupe, are still out there. They're still fighting for this, to
Yeah,
get to get that knowledge
she
out.
sent me the original interview from America's Most Wanted,
Yeah,
and
I've seen
it's
that.
sad.
I
It's
was like,
sad.
no, you're so
Yeah, she even told me, she's like, yeah, he didn't dress like that. They messed it all up. So
cute. Yeah,
we'll do an updated video. I'm gonna share this on YouTube, even though I'm the guy on the little camera now, but I don't care.
I know, right?
But no, you have a
I
good
should
night.
have
I
just kept that
appreciate you.
filter on, the cool filter. I could have been Tanya the
Well, I was
whole
trying to
time.
get the button to work. Usually, if I do that, the button will pop up, the little green guy, so you can invite people, but it didn't work.
Gotcha. Yeah, it wasn't showing up on mine. So, but yeah, I would love to talk to you again. Just we've got to get it out there, and be very leery of people who come wanting to help, because they may or may not be willing to help. Maybe it's their agenda,
Well, yeah, I
you
was
know.
just gonna say that. The saddest thing that
It's
I've discovered, and you can ask any one of the angel moms, it's not about one person, but she's a big deal in that, is that certain people with agendas and game plans for their own agenda are
yeah,
ruining the real reason why there was the TRP to help people. And I don't blame any
Exactly.
of the angel moms for if they've had to start their own, or I don't know the deal. I don't know what's going on, but if they're having to do their own thing because they don't have the support from the TRP, Billy and his wife, for instance, he's been offered
Hmm.
to go, but he can't because he can't take his wife.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
because of an illegal.
because of an illegal alien criminal. Yeah, it's just nuts. I
Yeah.
don't call them immigrants. That's not, you have to sign papers and become a citizen first. But, you know, like Marianne, she's got the Aviac. She sent me a shirt. I'll wear it every once in a while just to let them know, hey, you need to go to Aviac. But I mean, it's about everybody just supporting each other. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, no matter what happened, just like I told everybody else, there are going to be so many more families affected,
Hmm.
especially when you see terrorists coming up through Mexico, because a lot of them come from South America and they invade us. And they're going to be Taliban guys or people from
Hmm.
ISIS or just the mafias that are down in South
They
America.
caught a bunch of Muslims
Yeah.
coming across the border from Mexico. Are they terrorists? We don't know. We don't know because they
And
haven't been vetted.
and we're afraid to say the truth, and I'll end the video with this because I know you got to go to bed, but before you know it's gonna be like Red Dawn. They're parachuting into our country and they're taking us over, and we were so blind. And when that happens, you're gonna have a bunch of Trudeau's. I don't know his name. Is it Trudeau or whatever in Canada? He's like the
Mm,
extremist apologist. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Oh, you mean Obama?
Yeah. Okay, you said it for me. No, but no, but you know what I mean. So you have a good night. I appreciate the time of the interview.
Thank
I
you.
kept
Thank you for
trying for
giving
an
me this
hour to
voice.
get the dang Facebook to work. I logged in, logged out, logged in. It didn't work, but thank
Yeah,
you
it was crazy.
for doing
But
it.
hey, when my boss is saying, Brenda, why aren't you being productive? I'd be like, hey, this dude Eric, but by the way, you got a pretty awesome name. My son's name's Eric Nathaniel. So, you know, good name.
Did you spell
So
it
thank you.
E-R-I-C?
Of course.
Yeah, I
I
know. I was
spelled it
just,
the right way.
yeah,
Eric Nathaniel Cepeda.
that's a cool name. That's a really cool
Yeah,
name, to be honest with you.
I kind of liked him, but don't tell anybody.
Well, you have a good night, and I appreciate you. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
And if you would have changed
Thank
your
you for
profile picture, I wouldn't have sent you that stupid message. I was like, oh, no, you know what I mean? But no, it's
what
cool. So,
stupid message? I don't remember getting a stupid
no,
message.
I said, hey, do you want to do an Angel Mom interview? I was supposed to call you like weeks ago, and I was like, oh.
Oh,
No, yeah. No, you have a good
no,
one.
not a problem.
I'll share it on YouTube, and if you could title the video for me, because I can't do it, because you're the video host.
Okay,
Angel
so
Family
what, number
Inter,
11?
yeah, number 11, and put your son's name on there. So when I share it, I can automatically copy and paste it onto YouTube. So
Okay,
you,
sounds
you
like a
have a
plan.
good night. Appreciate you.
Thanks, you too. Bye bye.
Later. Bye.